Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. Today, we're creating the sweetest pocket card featuring the Darling Odie stamp set by Unity Stamp Company. This card is so full of fun details, a hidden sentiment, adorable tags, and so much creative charm. So stick around and let's assemble this card. This is Odie, and I have him stamped on some Hammermill cardstock using Memento black ink. He is from the Rescue Tales line of stamps from Unity Stamp Company, and I'm just going to do some real quick Copic coloring. I'm just using some grays. This is N1, N3, and N4. And I'm using a flicking motion, just following the lines in the stamp. And I'm just going to layer each color. I'm not even going to do a lot of blending because I want that fur texture and I want a variation of colors. So I'm starting with my darkest, which is N4, and then coming in with a bit of N3 and then a little bit of N1 at the end, which will do a little bit of blending and then lighten things up. And I'm keeping his face, his little muzzle, a bit whiter, but I want to add a bit of shadow. So I'm using the darker colors to create the shadow, but leaving most of it white. Just kind of add a little bit of dimension to his face while still keeping him a bit white in that little muzzle nose area. Don't you just love his little teeth? It's a bit of an underbite and it's just super adorable. Once I was done with little Odie, I'm just going to add some color to the grass around him. I'm using a combo of 3 BG colors. This is BG10, BG11, and then BG23. The BG11 and BG23 I use for the grass, and then I'm using BG10 to create a bit of a shadow around our little Odie friend. Just going to scribble that using a bit of a circular motion and then blend out the edge of that with my zero blender. Last is the heart. I'm using R22 and then R27 just to create a little bit of dimension to that heart and shadow. Super easy coloring here, nothing complicated. Just do a line of each and then I'll use that R21 to blend it together. And then to really deepen up that one side of the heart, I added a little bit more of the R27. Perfect. He just turned out so super cute. Now to create the pocket, I'm going to use a rectangle die. This is a Decal and Stitches die from Unity Stamp Company. And just die cut the top at an angle. I want to make sure that the paper is coming through the bottom of the die so I don't cut the bottom of the panel. And then I'm going to die cut this sentiment from the Rescue Tales and Happy Trails with a scallop heart. And then last, I'm going to die cut some tags from the Love Struck pattern paper, which I absolutely adore. I'm going to do 2 different sizes of tags. Before I layer everything up, I'm going to ink blend all the layers and all the edges using some vintage photo distress ink. This is just going to create a cohesive tone to all the layers on this card. Since I stamped Odie on some really crisp white cardstock, this is going to help it blend in with those distressed kind of craft colored pattern papers that I chose. I just want to make sure every layer gets ink blending of the vintage photo, and I'll just use a nice soft circular motion going around all the edges. Just creates a nice cohesive tone to everything. Now that all the ink blending is done, let's start building our pocket card. I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the bottom of my front panel. I want to make sure there's room for the tags to kind of slide in and out. So I made sure that there's enough room for them to slide down, and then I added some foam tape to the sides. And I'm just going to tack that down onto my card front. And then we're going to decorate our tags. I die cut another little piece of scrap paper to create a little pocket at the bottom of this scallop tag. I'm going to cut out a sentiment from the Love All Around cut apart sentiment strips. This one says, "You stole my heart." I'm just going to use my scissors to cut those out right on the line. This cutaway sentiment already had a distressed look to it, so I didn't have to do any extra ink blending. And I'm just going to glue that with liquid glue to the top of that little pocket. I have a die cut heart from some red cardstock that I'm just going to tuck in there. And then I also have some twill tape that really needed some distressing. It was really bright against all that distressed paper. So I used the vintage photo, added some water to it, and then I'm just going to run my ribbon through it. Just kind of distress it, give it a tea dyed look. Going to pick up all that ink, and then I'm going to dry it really well. You could just let it sit aside and dry by itself, but I grabbed my heat tool to speed up that process. Then I just folded it in half and I'm going to staple it to the top of my tags with my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. Just love these little tiny staples. For our second tag, I just glued my die cut sentiment straight to the center and then added another piece of that twill tape to the top. And then I'm just going to tuck my little tags into my pocket. And I love that you can hide any type of message or sentiment in behind that little pocket. And here is the final card. This pocket card is full of charm with its hidden sentiment, playful tags, and of course that adorable pup. It's perfect for celebrating a new furry family member or to send a smile someone's way. Thank you so much for creating with me. Be sure to subscribe to catch all my card making tutorials. See you again soon. Bye.